Well, Pedro Neto to Arsenal transfer interest to be revived or could be revived, and that story is coming from Dean Jones Hawker in there for you who works for the Give Me Sport. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. How are you guys, and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're only watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. England has gone ahead to draw 1-1 with Denmark, but I'm having the post-match reaction coming in through from the manager of England and then one of the players that have been so much instrumental into what Denmark went ahead obviously put out onto the field of play. And Ericsson is claiming that they would have gone ahead obviously win that game of football. And the other factor is all about the mask of the man, Kylian Mbappe. You all know that he broke his nose when they're playing against France. Played which team at first? Austria. After playing against Austria, he broke his nose. After breaking his nose, he found himself in a situation of really being taken off the field of play, and he was demanding to play when they are playing against Netherlands, and I think tomorrow. And the last training is today, and I'm going to really show you how Kylian Mbappe looked into that mask. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're already watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokani David is my name, and hope you guys are really having fun about everything you guys are really talking about in here. And for the Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum Juma Karim, because Friday is always Juma Karim, and the Christians, you know what to do, you know the duels. And let's obviously say close to 300 likes smash this video, and continue to subscribe because we want to hit 22,000 subscribers before the end of this month. Now, Dean Jones has told us that Arsenal could choose to revive their interest in Pedro Neto. Give Me Sport sources have revealed there is a belief among Wolves insiders that a deal could be struck in the coming weeks, with Neto pinpointed as their expected big money departure of the summer. Now, it's not news that Arsenal has shown interest in Pedro Neto. This is like the third consecutive summer transfer window. 2022, 2023, 2024. The summer has been about the guy called Pedro Neto, and with the due respect that we give him, he's really one of those that you really see as one of those players that will obviously do the needful for the side of Arsenal, right? And we all know that Arsenal really lacking in that player to play onto the right attacking side of the midfield to compete with Bukayo Saka, or sometimes offer what we call an option, like when they want to obviously rest Bukayo Saka because Saka looks like he's untouchable at the club of Arsenal. And you'll never know his limits, not until you really expose him to competition from a player like Pedro Neto. But I know what I was going to hit to spark this story off. If you really remember how Portugal went ahead to score their winner against, was it Czech Republic, right? That goal that Neves, is it Guedes scores, you saw how Pedro Neto shifted off the left, past players and put in that cutback cross that saw Conceição really put in a very good finish. And I think for any person who really doubted the quality of Pedro Neto, that single moment in there was enough to show you that Pedro Neto is really a man of his own making. He's a good player, and if at all he's playing alongside quality players like those of Portugal, a lot can happen, because he had Conceição, Bruno Fernandes, Cristiano Ronaldo, João Cancelo, Diego Dalot. You understand, quality players around him. He could obviously produce a moment of magic, and you saw to it that he really took the responsibility to obviously unlock that watertight defense, of Czech Republic. You understand? So when you look at the quality that went ahead of his exhibit, he never even exhibited it onto his best side where he plays best. That is the right attacking side of the midfield. He was onto the left, and he went ahead and skipped past players. And Arteta was watching that game. Every scout of Arsenal was watching that game. You understand? And Edu was watching that game. And I know messages had to cross from one's phone to another phone, like, have you seen what that boy can do? And if you're Arsenal, apart from Olise, Pedro Neto is the deal. because Olise looks like he's looking so much to obviously go to the side of Liverpool or Chelsea, because even Man United is not mentioned anywhere. And Bayern Munich has also gone ahead to join the race. Newcastle is into the mix to obviously sign Olise. So it shows you that Arsenal are nowhere near signing Mike Olise, but Pedro Neto is there, and Pedro Neto is a very good player, and he's this kind of player that if at all he leaves the side called Wolves and he goes elsewhere, because Man United wants him and very many other teams, you will regret. You will regret, because Pedro Neto is more talented than Olise. I tell you, he's more talented than Olise, more direct, more fast. His skill set is really great, acts well in tight spaces, and I believe that the physio side of Arsenal will obviously do the best to keep him fit, because the question will be, can he really keep fit? Because he's going to be playing very many games at Arsenal than those he has been playing in at Wolverhampton Wanderers, and you might not be knowing that what is keeping him injured is that he really plays very many minutes, and his body needs to obviously be rescued from playing very many minutes to playing like 30-40 a game, right? And then when it really gets back to full shape, then you can play him 90 minutes into the season. But this guy is really talented, and I know why Arsenal are really in for him. And the chase has been on, and the fact is, can Arsenal cough £60 million to the side of Wolverhampton Wanderers and really sign in this Pedro Neto guy? Because I love the player. And I'm this kind of person who was like, even if Olise goes and we get in Pedro Neto at Man United, it would be music to my ears. You understand? But the moment you lose Olise to Chelsea, and you lose Olise to the side of, and you lose this guy called, what is his name? And you lose Pedro Neto to Arsenal, maybe you'll be like, we're going to hate to lose out onto some of the best players in the world into that position in the Premier League really coming up. But for Manchester United as a team, I'm not really terrified, because I believe Amad Diallo can do the job. Amad Diallo is a really talented guy that can do the job. But for Arsenal, I think you're going to hate to be linked to very many players: Chiesa, Nico Williams, Pedro Neto, Olise, this other guy that plays as a right attacking midfielder for the side of Girona and is playing into the Turkish Ukrainian national team, and a lot is there. But at Arsenal, I think Pedro Neto should be the deal. Pedro Neto should be that player that every Arsenal fan will be really craving to obviously get in for. And if they really get in that player, I tell you, things are not going to be the same at the club of Arsenal, because creativity will be really huge. And for a manager like Mikel Arteta, who doesn't want to even take off the player called sack off the field of play, Pedro Neto has just gone here to show you his abilities off the left, that if you want to keep Bukayo Saka on, Pedro Neto can play off the left and be as effective as if he's playing onto the right. So that is Pedro Neto for you. And with the direct attack minded blueprint of Arsenal, I think Pedro Neto fits in it. He presses very well, tracks well very well, and is a guy who is really one to watch into the Euros, because he has an assist now and he's really doing the best of the best into the Euros. So for me, I'm not surprised that Arsenal is really looking in for this guy, although they have to weigh in on who to bring in, because the interest is genuine, that Arsenal really want a player that plays onto the right attacking side of the midfield to obviously bring up competition with Bukayo Saka and see how things are really going to pan out. Remember, he had close to 10 assists this season, and he's not stopping. Even in the Euros, he's really continuing to do the needful. That is Pedro Neto for you. Now, if Arsenal adds 10 assists to their team, that means if they keep doing what they did last season on 89 points, obviously Arsenal will win the league, because those assists will see them overcome teams like Spurs at Emirates, Aston Villa at Emirates, West Ham at Emirates, you understand? Fulham, you understand that they might collect like more 10 other points to take their tally to like 100 points. So that is the beauty of really getting in this player known as Pedro Neto. I love him. 24 years of age. He made 24 in March this year, and he is at his prime as a player. Just love what he does. And if Arsenal get the player, they would have gone ahead to get themselves a very, very talented player that knows exactly what to do into the beautiful game of football. Kylian Mbappe broke his nose when they're playing against Austria, and that is the mask they've gone ahead to obviously build in for Kylian Mbappe, and it's the mask he's going to be really using when they're playing against the side of when France is playing against the side of Netherlands tomorrow. It's going to be a big one, and Mbappe has taken part in the training session of France. He was really fled to France, and a surgery was really done onto his nose, operated very well, and looks like the healing has been really of high class, and he's ready to obviously torment the team I support that goes by names of Netherlands. But he is ready for that side, and we wait to see how Mbappe is gonna kick in to it that he puts in a shift that is really well desired for his team, that is the national team of France, to see to it that he win the game against Netherlands. Netherlands is also a tricky team because they're really having some quality players that can obviously shock you into the mix. Now, Gareth Southgate, England, has gone ahead to do 1-1 with the side of Denmark, and after the game, this is what he said. Clearly, it wasn't what we would have hoped. We are not using the ball well enough and have to accept it. If you do that, you are going to suffer at times as we have tonight. We know their levels, and we are going to have to find. We've played teams who are quite solid in back threes. It's not easy to get pressure on them, but we've definitely got to do it better than we have in these two matches. That's been part of the problem, but not keeping the ball has also been big part of the problem. Now, you're having Kobe Mainoo. You don't get him on the field of play, and he's really one of the best ball keepers onto the game. Secondly, you are talking about a back three. The last Euros, he played a back three. He played a back three, and I know he would have been the number one candidate to know how to unlock that back three. But if he's here alarming and making noise, that really shows me a huge doubt into his coaching tactics. And me with this guy, I've never come out and obviously gonna accept him as a manager. And I think England, if they lose out on this tournament, then this guy deserves to be sacked. I tell you, he deserves to be sacked and shown the exit door, because England deserve a better manager to obviously have something to do with the squad of England, because the squad is really great and it has some quality players. All what England need are those managers that can really think outside of the box and really get these players in a good team to obviously do the needful. Because if you're talking about keeping the ball, England has better players to keep the ball. Phil Foden, Saka can keep that ball, Rice can sorry about that. Saka can keep that ball, you understand? Saka can keep that ball, Bellingham can, you understand? You're having Anthony Gordon, Kobe Mainoo, and you're not really playing them. So, if you're not really playing them, then who are you to blame? Who is to blame for that? I tell you, you are the one to blame for the business you're really doing at your club. So for me, I put the blame onto him as a manager, not to find a solution, yet he really has a very vast, talented majority of players on the bench that he cannot really direct to do the needful, because it shows you the limitation in his mind that he cannot really tell Phil Foden to do this. Ebelechi Eze came on as a quality player, and how do you get Conor Gallagher in a team that wants to keep the ball and get him on the field of play? So I think this guy has to be sacked. Remember what Wayne Rooney said, that if at all England had a Pep Guardiola in 2004, Euros, 2006 World Cup, 2008 Euros and 2020 World Cup, England would have gone ahead to win one of those tournaments. That's what Wayne went ahead to say, and I know he's right, and you can as well go ahead and really agree with me that Wayne Rooney was 100% right when he came out and really spoke that. You understand? So that's the man himself, known as Gareth Southgate, with his excuses. But let's go to the Danish guy known as Eriksson, who claims that they would have gone ahead to win the game, and he says, "We thought if there was a team who deserves to win, it was us, but it wasn't the way it happened. But we played better than in the first game." I don't think England surprised us. We know they have exceptional players, but we hurt them with the chances we had. I think we should have won instead of getting a draw. To come back, it was a perfect strike and gave us a bit of belief. It was just unfortunate we didn't take it to score more goals. I don't think England dropped deeper. Even before the goal, it was very even. They lost the ball in possession a few minutes. We tried to hurt them on the counter and they tried to do the same. So he was like, it was a game of really showing pure tactics, and they outclassed the side of England to an extent that he calls that if there is a person who was supposed to win this game of football, it was none other than England. It was none other than Denmark. So we wait and see how that pans out, but it is really alarming for the side of England, and they might really get drawn with a very tough team when it comes to obviously playing into the round of 16, because right now they're having 4 points, and they have to obviously beat Slovenia to see to it that they obviously go through and lead the group. But even Denmark will be playing Serbia, and if at all they win, they will be at some... I think England just needs a win to go to 7 and see how things pan out. If at all they draw, they would have gone ahead to put themselves in a position of really losing out onto leading the table, provided Denmark does the needful. And this was the game by numbers. 16 shots by Denmark, England had 12. 7 shots on target by Denmark, England had 4. 51% ball possession by Denmark, England had 49. 546 passes completed by Denmark, England had 528. 87% passing accuracy by Denmark, and England had 86%. 13 fouls by Denmark, England had 5. 3 yellow cards to Denmark and 1 yellow card to England. 0 red cards to both sides. 4 offsides to Denmark, 0 to England. 4 corners to Denmark and 2 corners to England. At the look of those stats, they can paint a better image for what went ahead to happen into that beautiful game of football that was executed at all in Stuttgart. Therefore, so guys, your thoughts on to Pedro Neto to Arsenal, transfer interest revived, are welcome in the comment section below. What do you make about Kylian Mbappe coming in through to obviously wear a mask ahead of Netherlands tomorrow? Is it necessary all France can do without Kylian Mbappe? Then the manager of England, what he has gone here to say about the game, and Ericsson claiming that Denmark deserve to be the overall winners of the night. May the living to God bless you abundantly. Rokani David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later, and I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. And the Muslims, Juma Karim, because it's a Friday now in my country. Hope you guys are having fun. 5 finger salute to everyone watching in through. Bye bye, my mates.